This is by far the most talented team we've played. They've got not a good player, but a great player at every position and a very deep and talented bench. Their size and length and their defensive abilities, they're fourth in the country in KenPom in defensive efficiency. So that creates a major challenge for any team, and especially us right now, because we've been very good offensively. We've got to really be good defensively against these guys, because if they're able to defend us, we better be able to defend them.
How exciting is it to have a game like this?
Well, I'm very interested. I'm going to be leaving practice leaving my office around 6 or 6:30 tonight, and I'm hoping to see the students with their tents and their gear and camped out, because there's a lot of interest. I know Slim Williams is called. He wants to come. Everybody know who Slim Williams is? Well, he purchased the most expensive home in South Florida recently. He's the rapper, music mogul. He's a big-time guy, and he was calling looking for tickets. Oh, pretty interesting.
Speaking of defense, how do you coach defense on the perimeter?
We tell them try to stop the other team.
Okay, but it looks like they're doing things out there, trying to. Were they giving the effort out there, or?
Oh, we've given great effort every game. The effort has not been the issue for us this season so far. We've played 8 games, and effort has been there each night. What hasn't been there each night is execution, where we get out of position too easily. We gamble too much. We spectate too often. And you can't do that against a team like Florida, because if you're spectating while the shot is being taken, it means they're running to the offensive boards. There are 2 major statistical categories that you can look at for this game, in addition to the normal stats of defensive field goal percentage. And those 2 stats are rebounding and turnovers. Because Florida presses all the time, you have to take care of the basketball and not turn it over, or they're going to get fast break layups before you can defend them. And second is, they're a team that even when they shoot and miss, they're so good on the offensive boards that they can rebound it and score on a second or third effort. So our ball handling against the pressure and our rebounding against their onslaught to the offensive backboards. So our defensive backboards are huge. But the first thing you have to do is make a miss. There is no rebounds if the ball goes in.
Jim, I know you mentioned the other day you were a little familiar with what they do because of Eric. Have you had a chance to get a little bit more of a scouting report from him? Oh,
not a scouting report. I was more just looking for information about philosophy, style of play. I think at Florida, he's inherited such a talented and deep team. They've got this kid, Leon, who comes in off the bench, who's a junior college All-American. They got Skylar Rimmer, who we recruited, who's 6'10", 245, 250 pounds. They've got Brandon Francis Ramirez, who is a high school All-American coming out of Arlington Country Day. They got Chioza, who was a terrific freshman for them last year. They got like 12 guys in the scouting report. Normally there's 8, and sometimes you add a 9th. These guys go 12 deep, so it's a very deep and talented team, so they can play the way he wants to play, which is that pressing style, for 40 minutes and not skip a beat with going to the bench.
Does last year's game have any bearing in any way that you guys won up there?
Well, I think it gives our players a little bit of familiarity, but no, different coach coaching the Florida Gators, different personnel. You know, even though Casey Hill is back, Kevon Allen plays the 2. He's a freshman. He didn't play last year. Devin Robinson plays the 3. He was a sub last year. Finney Smith didn't play against us last year. He starts at the 4. And Egbunu, their center, he didn't play last year. He was a transfer. So a lot of new faces. Skylar Rimmer's a transfer who sat out. The junior college kid, Leon, didn't play. So there are very few similarities.
Jim, what about, have you had a chance to check in with Angel about his wrist?
His wrist is fine.
Okay.
What bothers him is he takes such a beating during games because he's fighting through so many ball screens. He gets bumped and jarred. And in one of the games, I think Northeastern, but maybe it was before that, he hurt his shoulder, just, you know, sore. And it's been sore ever since.
Is there anybody, I know it's early in the season, but anyone who's already surprised you maybe with how well they've done in any particular area?
For us?
Yeah, for you guys, yeah.
Well, I think everybody's played pretty much the way I anticipated. I'm very, very pleased with Ivan Cruz-Uceda's improvement defensively. I thought he...
Three-pointers aren't too bad either.
Oh, he can really shoot. But, you know, last year he was a liability defensively. This year he's been very good. And when you watch tape and you're grading them, you know, he got an A the other day for the way he defended. Because one of the things we've been playing against, the other team's best player has been a 4-man. So that's a challenge for him because he's not the athlete that like a Kamari Murphy is, or a lot of times the athlete that the other team has, like Siobhan Shields, the kid Sullivan from UNC Charlotte was their leading scorer. Going into this game, Dorian Finney-Smith is their leading scorer. So we've played against a lot of very good 4-men. The kid Ford from Northeastern was a kind of a 3-4-man, but played a lot at the 4 in our game. So, but Yvonne's and Kamari have done, I think, a reasonably good job. But we need to do better in that area of guarding the other team's best player.
How about Anthony Lawrence? He seems to be doing really well for the freshman.
Yeah, he had a little bit of, like, I'll describe it in my words, whiplash from the fall he took at Nebraska. So he didn't practice much on Thursday and Friday leading into Saturday's game. He's now got flu symptoms, so I'm not sure how much he'll be able to do today. But hopefully he'll, after this week is over, not so much tomorrow, but after exams, and he can actually just focus on the basketball that the classroom work is behind, he could make a lot of progress defensively, and that would really help us because he's very talented offensively, and he has the potential to be a very good defender. But, you know, it's very typical in high school for a player to have to do so much scoring and so much on offense that you need him not to expend so much energy on defense. Whereas in college, you're guarding a great player every night. And if you don't guard him and he goes off, it's very hard to win that game. And he's been asked to guard a lot of good players. And in a very short period of time, you see he's got the potential to be a very fine defender, but he has a lot of fundamental work that he needs to learn. You know, he's someone that has to improve his closeouts. He's got to improve his help defense, and he's got to be more consistent with his rebounding, because when he concentrates on rebounding, he adds a whole nother element to our defense.
Would you say physically he's there? Like, is he where you want him to be?
Oh, physically, yeah. The thing he can do better physically is just stay in a defensive stance more. You know, he has a tendency to stand up, kind of rest. A lot of guys do that. And you're better when you're in the ready position all the time, if you're in your defensive stance and your mind is engaged, or you're seeing ball and seeing man and really in a position to do what you need to do next. Sometimes they recognize what they have to do, but they're a split second late because they weren't in a stance.
And along those lines, how do you assess Ibuka at this point?
He's learning, but he's got so much still to learn. He's a great kid, and he's working really hard. I played him 6 minutes the other night, but the number of mistakes he made in those 6 minutes clearly indicate he can't use him for more than 5 or 6 minutes until he really develops those defensive fundamentals.
You see Kamari's comfort level getting back in?
Oh, yeah, I think he's very comfortable, very confident.
Thank you.
Thank